Hi, I'm the Box Office Wizard bringing you weekend box office predictions and movie review. For today's show, going to review the numbers from last weekend's Beat the Expert, see how I did in my predictions against the other websites that do predictions. Also, give you my predictions for this coming weekend on how the box office will perform, and also movie news on Jay and Silent Bob, the Halloween franchise, the Batman movie, Avengers Infinity War, Suicide Squad sequel, and Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. Real quick, Beat the Expert. Last week I actually finished in third, so still kind of seemed like I'm in a little rut here, but at the same time though, I'm still hanging in there. Fourth place was Box Office Mojo at 82%. I came in third at 83.3%. Box Office Pro was at 84.3%, and a rare win was Box Office Profits at 86.6%. Overall for the year to date, I am in second place at 79.9%, with Box Office Pro in first at 81.5%. My numbers for this coming weekend for predictions will be a 4-day weekend with the holiday of President's Day on Monday. Number 10, we'll put La La Land. Last weekend it made $5 million. It will cross over $300 million worldwide this weekend. I'm going to put a prediction in at $4.2 million. Ninth place will be Dog's Purpose. Last weekend it made $7.3 million. Should have another decent weekend. It's at $44 million, and it should definitely cross over $50 million this coming weekend. I'm going to put it at $5.6 million for this coming weekend. Next is the movie A Cure for Wellness. This one's been really hard for me to decide on because you kind of watch the trailers and it looks like it's not bad, kind of comparable to Split. But same time though, the reviews on it are terrible, which can be expected for this type of movie. But same time, it's just not there's just something that's just not appealing to me. So, I'm just not really sure where to put this. I've kind of went back and forth, but overall, there's just not much buzz about it and excitement that I'm seeing across social media. So, I'm going to put it at $5.8 million, and I think that may be even a struggle to get to that point. So, just kind of curious to wait and see how this movie does perform overall. Finishing 7th this coming weekend will be Hidden Figures. It did make $8 million this past weekend. Still doing very well. You may check your local market. There's actually, it's going to be playing free this coming weekend in several markets in honor of Black History Month. So you may check to see if it's something you want to go see. Free to get in. Got to buy your popcorn and Coke. So, but it is at $134 million now, and it should easily get up to about $140. I'm going to put it at $6.8 million for this coming weekend, and this movie has just performed very well overall. And obviously the Oscars are coming up, so I'll have to wait and see if it picks up anything there. So, 6th this week, I'm going to put the movie Split. It made $9.5 million last weekend. Another great weekend for it. It's now at $115 million here in the U.S., $172 million worldwide, which is just great numbers. It's going to have another great weekend. I'm going to put it at $5.95 million for this coming weekend. Finishing, actually, those I should switch 6 and 7. So 7th would be Split, 6th would be Hidden Figures. Coming in 5th this coming weekend, I'm going to put Fist Fight. This movie's with Ice Cube. I'm not seeing the appeal to it. My kids are just cracked up every time they see the trailer to it. So there's something there that I'm missing. But either way, though, this movie should have a pretty decent weekend. Ice Cube is always appealing. There's always a decent crowd that does follow his movies. This is one that I definitely will just wait to see on DVD or streaming thing like Netflix or Amazon Prime, something like that. So either way, though, it's going to have a good weekend. I'm going to put it at $14.8 million for this coming weekend. Next is the movie Great Wall. Stars Matt Damon. This movie's already been out for a few weeks overseas, and it's done very well. It's already made $224 million overseas, and this is a movie that just is intriguing. It's kind of interesting what it's about, dealing with the Great Wall of China and all that. So it's going to have an okay weekend. There's still the problem with it though is that there's competition with John Wick just coming out last weekend. A lot of people still going to go see that. They haven't had a chance yet. Other than that competition, though, I think it'll have a good weekend, though. I'm going to put it at $18.2 million for this coming weekend. And just kind of going to have to wait and see if it does cross $20 million or not for it. But I think it'll stay just under. So, finishing in third this next weekend will be John Wick. Be very close to what Great Wall does. John Wick obviously came out, debuted at $30.4 million last weekend. It's done okay this week, making $8 million up through Wednesday. But I do think it will have another big weekend. You know, word of mouth has been good on this movie. Already talks about John Wick 3, and I'm going to put it in at $18.5 million, and it'll finish just a tick ahead of Great Wall. Second place, I'm going to put 50 Shades Darker. Had a big debut overall compared to what I initially thought. I had originally said low 40s, finished at 46.7 million, so I was pretty close there on it. But either way, though, it did nowhere close to what the original did. But it did play very well on Valentine's Day as expected. I think it made $11.5 million. It's now at $60 million here in the U.S., $98 million overseas. So, you know, the appeal, the attraction to this movie is still there. It will have a big drop, though, with it being in its second weekend. I don't think it will be quite as big as the drop was with the original, but I think it'll be close. I'm going to put it at $19.5 million for this coming weekend. May do a touch better, but that's about where I'm going to put it at. So, number one, I'm going to put Lego Batman. I think it'll have another great weekend. You know, surprisingly, though, it only had a $53 million debut. I think I'd put it at $72 million. The other experts had it up in the, one had 76, one had 80 million. Box office profits actually had it at 58, so they were actually the closest, and they were the ones that he actually had a great week last week. So, you know, it's really hard to put this for a second weekend because I don't think it's going to have a huge drop. Great second weekend for it to have with the kids being out of school and that. However, though, I'm still just not. You know, I initially almost went a little bit lower, but I think it'll have an okay weekend. But I'm just going to put it at $36.5 million. I may be a little bit low, but that's where I'm going to put it at because it's just where I feel like I think it's just not going to be there like it is anticipating. But just going to have to wait and see what happens, and kind of looking forward to seeing where this movie does finish come Tuesday. So, hey, movie news: Jay and Silent Bob. In case you haven't heard anything about this in a long time, because it has been since 2001 that movie came out. You know, they have appeared in other movies and so forth, but it is actually finally getting a sequel. Kevin Smith came out and said that Clerks 3 is dead, and he has decided to go with a sequel to Jay and Silent Bob. Pretty much has a script already in place, and so it's going to be something that's supposed to start production this coming summer. So, the Halloween franchise, as mentioned last week on my show, it's still continuing on, still a release date of 2018. However, the news came out this week, though, that is actually going to take place after Halloween 2. So that's kind of the storyline where it's fallen in place. So the movie The Batman, looks like that there is a director in place now, and it will be Matt Reeves. In case you don't know what he's directed before, he's done Cloverfield and also War for the Planet of the Apes. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what kind of take he does have on this movie. Avengers Infinity War. 2 more superheroes have been confirmed. No surprise here, really. They kind of been mentioned already, but I'm going to go ahead and say them. Spider-Man, going to be back again once in this movie, and it's going to be played by Tom Holland. And also Chris Pratt will be in this as well, playing Star-Lord. So obviously they're going to be tying in the Guardians of the Galaxy characters. I'm sure the rest of them will be in it too, but just have to wait and see if it's maybe just him or if it's going to be all of them. So, Suicide Squad sequel. This one really caught me off guard. Mel Gibson has actually been tapped to direct this movie. They are wanting him to do it. You know, they have talked to other directors. His name seems to kind of be the front runner at this point. Nothing has been confirmed, though. However, though, Mel Gibson has confirmed that he has been talked to about this. So, be very interesting to see if this is a movie that he will take on or not. And it's one I'd actually be kind of excited about. So, and last is Triple X. This movie is, you know, domestically here, it's only done okay. I think it's in the mid-40s now. China, it just exploded. Did $100 million in 6 days in its market. So, continue to amazes me the attraction of some of these stars overseas and how quickly a movie can accumulate, you know, within a week's time, let alone just 6 days, $100 million. So, you know, China is the second biggest market. Eventually will be bigger. So, either way, though, it's doing very well, and kind of interesting to see where this will finish. Probably be bottom of the barrel segment here in a few, about a month or two, seeing how it does finish up. So, hey, that's it for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. Get your predictions in. Put those in the comments below. And also, if you have any other things to say, Thank you for subscribing, and I'll be back on Tuesday giving you predictions you can count on that are better than the weatherman. Take care.